Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Global Fleet video podcast. We are traveling to Australia today, as my guest is Robbie Blau. He is the CEO of leasing and fleet management company SG Fleet, one of the most important and biggest leasing and fleet management companies in the region. Robbie, welcome to this video podcast. How are you doing?
I'm great, thanks, Steven, and thank you for having me today. Appreciate your time.
It's a pleasure. Robbie, you are already in charge of SG Fleet as CEO since 2006, if I'm not mistaken. So 15 years ago. You have a great view, an expert view on the fleet market in Australia and New Zealand. How has that market changed over those 15 years?
Stephen, I think when I started in this market, the product was probably a simpler and more vanilla, sort of often spreadsheet-based type process. I think fleet management has now become a much more complex and sophisticated technology business. Without a great technology platform and without great technology solutions, it's very difficult to add value to clients now. Clients now expect us to add technology value across a wide range of touch points. The way I like to describe it when I talk to our customers is technology is now our ticket to the game, I think. And I think if you don't have that ability to evolve, your offering through technological innovation, you become very much at risk of being left behind. In that vein, since we've last met, we've set up an in-house innovation hub here at SG Fleet that allows us to develop cutting edge and often bespoke technological solutions for our customers. And obviously it allows us to do it much more rapidly than if we were relying purely on outside, technological know-how. I think probably another, large change in recent years is the interest in alternative power sources. I know you spend a lot of time talking about that in your publications. The interest has obviously increased exponentially across the globe, and it's not very different in our markets. And in fact, the New Zealand market is probably ahead of the Australian market when it comes to alternate power sources at this point. The great opportunity for us is that we've been at the forefront of providing solutions to our customers that assist them in moving, transitioning from low, or should I say, to low or zero emission vehicles. I think the third sort of schematic that's worth raising is the greater environmental awareness that goes hand in hand, with a changing perception of the role of companies in our communities. It's not just about reducing the impact on the environment, but it's also about what we give back, what our staff give back to our environments and our communities. And I think, these considerations have become very much part of our day-to-day operational environment, but as importantly, very much part of our strategic and long-term decision-making.
Do you think, Robbie, that it's feasible, that it's easy even to include Australia and New Zealand in a global fleet approach?
Look, it's happening more and more. I think amongst the large players in the Australia-New Zealand market, most of us have some sort of tie-in with a global player, and that allows those global players to get their multinational client service here in Australia and New Zealand. And I think more and more there are opportunities for Australia and New Zealand clients to make sure that their global counterparts are looked after in their arrangements. I think it is a two-way arrangement, and I think it absolutely is possible.
Okay. The reason, of course,
from a regional perspective, we're an important player in Australia and New Zealand.
Okay. The reason, of course, Robbie, that I am doing this interview is also because of the exciting news that you presented a couple of weeks ago. Your company recently announced the possible acquisition of LeasePlan business in Australia and New Zealand. Of course, this still has to be approved by the authorities, by the Australian Competition Commission. But let's assume that it will take place. Can you explain why this move?
Yes, look, this market has been ripe for consolidation for some time. I'm on record for saying for a long time now that I think there are too many players at the top end of this market and that consolidation is important. This is an outsourcing business, as you well know, and so, scale brings benefit to our customers, very much so. So we're very excited about this acquisition. It's a great fit for us, and subject to, us getting the necessary approvals, we think the acquisition will create a very, very compelling fleet management and leasing offering for both the Australian and New Zealand markets. The businesses are very complementary. They're culturally aligned. Both businesses have very high quality customer books and very well-regarded products and services ranges. And so, we think bringing the businesses together will create some great operational scale and create some great efficiencies in our market.
Okay. When do you hope that you can, let's say, conclude the deal? When will everything be in place, you hope?
We're hopeful that the deal will conclude during the third quarter of this calendar year. So, in 4 to 6 months' time. And we look forward to starting the integration of the businesses at that point.
Okay. Now, I think last year, you also agreed on a partnership with another international lease player based in Europe, Alphabet International. What will happen with that partnership?
Look, I think we're very excited about the international alliance agreement that we've signed with LeasePlan, which will come into effect if this deal completes or when this deal completes. Under that agreement, we have an ability to refer international customers to each other, refer business opportunities to each other, as well as share product know-how and innovation with each other. So that brings great benefit to our customer base. That brings flexibility in terms of services transition. It brings a very attractive opportunity for our customers to get the benefit of a major global player. Unfortunately, though, Stephen, that means that our arrangement with Alphabet will terminate because of that.
Okay, I can understand. A final question that I have is, of course, you are now going to acquire, if everything goes well, the business of LeasePlan. You are already a big company in Australia and New Zealand. You also have a subsidiary in the UK. What are the plans on the short and the mid-term in terms of expansion?
Sure. Look, I think our short-term plans are very much to make sure we complete this transaction. We think there'll be a lot of benefit for our customers by completing this transaction, from a product and services perspective. We think we'll achieve some great efficiencies, which will benefit both our business, our customers, and our market. And that's the focus for right now. Looking beyond that, I think our focus remains on the Asia Pacific region. We'll be a big business in this region, and there's a lot to do in the Australia and New Zealand markets with this combined business. At the same time, we'll continue to strengthen what is a niche position in the UK market. We've created a great niche for ourselves in that market, and we will continue to strengthen that business. And I think that will keep us busy, for the short to medium term. What happens in the long term, watch the space.
Okay. Robbie Blau, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. And I wish you all the success in the business with SG Fleet. And I hope, of course, to meet with you still this year, also face to face. I know that it can be challenging, but let's always hope and be positive about the future. To the audience, thank you very much for watching. If you liked this podcast, also share it with your colleagues. And I hope to meet with you in an upcoming initiative of Global Fleet. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Thanks, Stephen. All the best.